Happy Saturday. I saw a few of you chatting right before I jumped on, and it seems like we're chatting weather. Hi, Lisa, Ellen, Ellen in the UK. I saw there's someone, I think, that is finally getting to join live, which is always so fun. So welcome. Hi, Michelle. She's got her iced coffee and she's ready to go. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. Woke up at 4 a.m., not on purpose, but yesterday, it's actually better than yesterday because yesterday I woke up at 2 a.m. and not on purpose. And I'm one of those people that once you wake up, hi, Scrappy Matilda and Marilee. Anyhow, I was just trying to read what Marilee was saying. So what's interesting, though, I think maybe what I'll do is, it sounds like you see an ad and then you jump right into me already talking. So I'll try to remember next week when I start to kind of just meander a little bit, even though I meander really for the first 10 or 15 minutes anyway. So if you missed the first minute or so, welcome. I was chatting about the people in the chat and how you're sharing where you're from and the weather, which I love. If you are new to our Saturday sessions, there is a live chat that takes place. And that takes place depending on how, I guess, what device you're on, whether on your computer, your desktop, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, so many devices, right? You may see that chat on the right-hand side of your screen. If not, you may need to go out of full screen mode in order to see that if you'd like to participate in the chat. But you'll hear me kind of responding to people, and as much as I can, I try to remember to state what they say first before I respond, because if you're watching the replay, you might be like, what in the world is she talking about? So welcome to the live if you're watching live, and if you're watching the replay, welcome as well. Love having people live and replay. I know some of you just can't make the live, which as kind of we get deeper and deeper into more people being vaccinated with COVID, I think things are starting to open up in certain parts of the country, in the US, and then also certain parts of the world. So we may be getting fewer and fewer on our Saturdays live, but hopefully if you can't make it live, you will still participate in the replay. If you are a lurker, meaning you've been here for a while, but you've never really popped in the chat, I encourage you to just pop in really quick and say hi in the chat. A super wonderful bunch of folks that are always chit-chatting back and forth there. But let us know if you are. Hi, Francesca and Jane. Oh, Jane's got her second vaccine on Monday. Wonderful. Lots of celebrating as it comes to that. Oh, is Nick? Nick's on. Okay, good. Hi, Jackie and Carol and Stephanie. Vania. I don't know if I said that right. I like your name. That's very pretty. Fully vaccinated. Yay. Oh, hi, Karen. Oh, that reminds me, you guys. Okay. It's across the room, but I'm going to get it and I will show you. My friend Karen Petrowski. She's been on and off over the last year. She and I have been friends for, my gosh, 26 years, I want to say, I think, or a little bit longer. Anyhow, if you follow me on Instagram, on my stories yesterday, I shared an amazing present that she gave me. So once I flip the camera, I'll show you what that is because it's just so cool. And Karen, I didn't know you were coming on. I mean, doesn't matter, but of course I want to share that. Yes, Nick is busy packing away because really, you know how it works here. We roll off of one thing and right into the other because I, with Nick's, help on the background, a brand new Trevor's Notebook kit earlier this week. So we'll talk about that when I flip the camera as well. A couple things before I flip the camera. I should say hello if we haven't met or you haven't participated in one of our lives before. My name is Lael Konkar and I own a business called Lael by Mail. Big backstory to that. If you go to my website at laelbymail.com and click About Us, something about us. It's really about me, about us. And I kind of get a little backstory about how Lael by Mail came to be. But we have been doing this the last year. This is our 54th week in a row that we've been getting together on a Saturday and talking about traveler's notebooks. And we will be doing some creative listing. I always, the day before, share the list topics on social media. Well, actually, I share them on my blog, but everywhere I link to blog. I send out an email. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. So if you would like to participate and you haven't participated in the past, or you want to participate, but you didn't realize I was providing the listing topics ahead of time, those are the places you can find them. I think the easiest way is to just go to lailbymail.com and click on blog. You can also sign up for emails there so you receive notifications so you know what we're going to be doing. I'm missing all kinds of chat. Ruth, hi Ruth. All right, you guys, so a couple of the details. 2 weeks ago, we did our 52-week extravaganza. It was an all-dayer, 10 to, I think we went 10 to 8:30 Mountain Time, which was, it's a long time. We had so much fun, but I had lots and lots of prizes. So I gave away some prizes, and I had a number of wonderful people and companies in the industry that also participated. So we had scrapbook.com, Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine, we had Carrie Bradford, we had Andy K. Arts, who does our clip stamps and the scatter stamp, and we had, I'm just here, I've got to look because I know I'm missing a few. Oh, Vicky Booten, I had a fun prize pack from Vicky Booten. And then we had two of you guys that also sent me a few things to donate. Debbie Pettit sent some really fun things from Creative Memories. And then also Jill Thompson bought two of the Grateful Heart mini book kits and then donated one as a giveaway, which was so wonderful. So there's all the winners. Yeah, I don't expect you to see that. You don't need to rewind and, try to make the screen bigger to see if you won. This morning, well, between last night and this morning, I have I've emailed you if you won during the live, and if you won by leaving a comment after the fact in either of the two videos, I replied to your comment if you won this morning. The other thing that I will do though is later today or tomorrow, I will go and list all the winners on my blog. So sometimes my your email thinks that I'm a spammer and that you don't want to see it, so things end up in your junk mail. But you might want to just check that. Maybe tomorrow or Monday, just go to my blog and check to see if you are a winner. But we've got some awesome prizes that will be going out. You know what? Why don't I do this? I'll just read them really quick, and then we know who won. So Pam Kelly, that was PK. She won the $100 prize pack from Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. Michelle Poulin won the Blush Speckle Traveler's Notebook bundle. Dawn Milbratz won the Scatter the Squirrel coffee mug. Not that one, but she won one of those. Which those are now available. You can get those on my website now. So from scrapbook.com, Sarah Foss won Simple Scrapbooks Kit from scrapbook.com. Amanda L won a mint tape kind of prize pack from scrapbook.com. Suzanne Webb won Ella Love. Well, she won a whole stamp prize pack. Ella Love is one of Andy K. Art stamps and one of the listed 2 stamp sets in a little Lail by Mail bag. And then this was fun. The Scatter the Stamp bundle in the little bag and the pin. Originally, Nancy Gullison had won that. And then she reached out and said, you know what, I already bought that, so let's pay that forward. So I drew another random lucky winner this morning, and that was Susan Delgado. So Ruth Sim, our Ruth from the UK, who stayed up with us very, very into the very early hours of the morning when we did our big celebration. She won the address template. Carrie Bradford, 2 different stamp sets. One went to Janelle Stock and the other one went to Carolyn Phillips. Scrapbook.com, $50 gift certificate. That one went to Lavon Wood. So many good prizes. The Vicky Booten product assortment went to Elizabeth Kulanja. If I mispronounced that, Elizabeth, I apologize. The Everything tool from Debbie. Creative Memories tool. I use this one a lot and we're always like, ooh, what is that? Where do we get it? I have a feeling, and I don't know this, but I have a feeling Debbie, our little friend Debbie here, might be a Creative Memories consultant because she sent me a few things to give away. So Debbie, if you're on here, I know those are kind of hard to find. So if you're on here and you want to let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to get one of those. That was Scarlett Forever O'Hara, whose real name is Marsha Montgomery, whose real name. Susie Comey, if you are here, I just read your comment that you, Susie, so Susie is a friend of mine that I have known for many years. We go back probably 15 years. I met her, she was taking a class from me many years ago. In the comments, as I was reading through, we got on this whole thing about Marsha, and the Brady Bunch when Scarlett Ford O'Hara told us her name was Marsha. But then I noticed in the comments that Susie mentioned that she took a birthing class many years ago when she was pregnant with Maureen McCormick, who was Marsha Brady. So one of those interesting facts. The winner of the Grateful Heart mini book kit that was donated by Jill Thompson is Joanne Martinson. The favorite things, my favorite things pack that I had available that day, that was randomly Dawn G3. So Dawn, Dawn, your name is like the cheese in my head. Gruyere. Always have a hard time saying that. So Guerrero, maybe? And then the last three prizes were scrapbook.com. So Pops of Color bundle, Joanne Tackaberry. Journaling card bundle, Tracy Carell, and last but not least, the Alpha Stamps bundle was Brian's Girl 14. So I will, again, list all of those on my blog. But yes, wonderful, so many fun prizes, and I loved it that so many of my industry friends were there to support us on our big day. Okay, so we also had a winner from last week. So I started using the Bunnies in Bloom collection last week for one of my lists, and I will be using that again this week for one of my lists. But I have a prize pack of an assortment of Bunnies in Bloom products, and the name I drew for that this morning, Ellen Coffin. So congratulations, Ellen, and I have a reply to your comment as well. All right, I'm gonna enable for a second, you guys. When a lot of times when I am doing these Saturday sessions, you see me use different tools, different storage things, and you guys are always very curious about what I'm using when it comes to storing a lot of my products. And there are a couple of things that I use from scrapbook.com. They are always linked in the description of my video. So you'll find lots of links in the description of the video down below. Well, I posted on Facebook yesterday that they are having a huge sale right now. These that many of you have asked about, that I store my sticker tablets and my word strip stickers in. These are an amazing sale. There are, let's see, hang on, I'm going to show you another one. These, so I've had a lot of questions about this recently, what I use to store my 4x4 stamps in. These are envelopes from scrapbook.com, and these come in a couple of different sizes. So there's a ton of things that they have. I think the sale ends, I want to say 11:59 on Monday night, which would be the 29th. Anyhow, I've linked to it in the description of the video, and it's right where I start talking about storage. You guys should go look because there are some really good deals, and I like to enable. Huh, Karen Petrowski? All right. So, oh yes, I'm going to flip the camera now. Just a few notes on my Santa Claus notepad. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera. When we flip the camera, we're going to go for a little ride. So Disneyland, when you get in a ride, they tell you to keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times. So arms and legs inside the ride, we're going on the teacups, and I hate the teacups. So if you need to close your eyes because you hate the teacups too, we're going to spin very quickly, and then we'll be good. So one, yes, Diane, ink storage. Okay, I just got to show, since Diane mentioned that. I still have on my list of things to do, you guys, you know that. Still have on my list of things to do. I'm just going in some of my little doors behind me, is to show you how I store things. But I just bought, literally, I just bought 6 more of these. These, well, they can be stored vertically like this for all of your ink pads, if you put that on your desk. But I store them like this, because they just slide right into, if you have any kind of the Kallyx or the Expedit Ikea furniture, they fit right in there. And you can actually go 2 by 2 sideways and then stack 3 different stacks. So you can have 6 of these little guys. And those are part of their sale too, like a really good deal on those. Yes, because I bought 6 more. I think I bought one of those because I only need 5. I think I bought one to give away. So that is one of the things that I will do. We'll have 2 giveaways for next week for 2 different people. One is that. One of these ink storage towers. So it's either your tower or goes like that. And Nick's probably on going, wait a minute, you bought what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So it stores 12 ink. So that will be one of the prizes this week. And then the other prize, ooh, I wonder what the back of my hair looks like. Generally, I don't fix the back of my hair when I am doing this on Saturday because no one sees the back of my hair except when I turn around. Oh yes, I already put it away. The other prize that I will be giving away, there's a pack of 5 of these little storage envelopes, and I use these to store my stamps, but they're also great for storing your dies if you have dies. So those will be the 2 prizes for this week. The way that you will enter to have a chance to win those prizes, we will leave a comment on this video. So when this video is done, I'll have you come back and leave a comment, not in the chat, but on the comments on the video. And let's see. Oh, I know. Okay. We're doing a continuation. One of our lists today is a continuation of last week. So our first list we'll be doing today is bad habits. So leave a comment on one of your bad habits. And next Saturday morning, I will draw 2 random lucky winners. And one will win the stamping ink storage, and the other one will win the the 4x4 little envelope storage. This is the larger size that I use to store my larger Carrie Bradford stamps. Okay, friends, now we're going to go for a spin. So arms and legs inside the ride. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. There we go. And now we just have to get things straight because I do not have a white desk. I have a white tabletop that sits on a black. I have a tall piece of furniture that is my crafting desk, and it is black, and it has a very large sheet of thick glass on top to help protect it. Aha, thank you, Colleen. There we go, plugging in. And I know for sure this time that the thing I'm plugging into is also plugged in. We kind of had that problem last time. Nick. Oh boy, always a comedian. So Nick is my husband, if you don't know. And if you missed his comment, he said, you need to show the bags you use to store stuff inside of other bags. And you guys, you know what? Men don't understand that. Seriously, men don't understand that. But we have to have bags to put our bags in, right? Like if I'm carrying a big purse, I don't want all my stuff just floating around in the big purse. I need smaller bags to put my smaller things in. So then I have an assortment of bags in my bag, right? I know you guys know what I mean when I say that. I'm not crazy, Nick. I know there's at least one person out there like me. All right, so I'm going to just show you because this is too good not to show. This is what my friend Karen gifted me the other night. Well, Nick saw her husband and he brought it home and it was all wrapped up, and I'm like, what is this? And he said, I brought you a present. And I'm like, you did not, because it was all wrapped beautifully. And he goes, no, I did. And I'm like, you did not. And he goes, okay, it wasn't for me, but I still brought you a present. So Karen found online in an online auction this set and bid on it for me with me in mind, and she won it. So, and then she gifted it to me. Look at this. You guys know how much I love stamps, alpha stamps, right? My alphabet stamps. So this is a full set. This is like about as vintage as you can get. This is how vintage it is. That's the ink pad. We won't try to use that ink pad, right? But so cool. All of these stamps, all lowercase, a full complete set, numbers and lowercase alpha. And then, I didn't even realize this until she told me, there's a whole other set on the bottom of all of the uppercase alphas. And then some really cool, like this little guy, pointing finger. Yes, it is so cool. And I can't wait to play with it. But You guys know how much I like stamps, and I know a lot of you like stamps, so I thought you would very much appreciate that. The fact that that is a full set too is pretty amazing. So Karen knows me very well. She knew that that would make me so, so happy, and it did, and it still does. Okay. If this is your first time, just know this is what happens. We're just chit-chatting, you know. It's like when you haven't seen a friend in a long time and you get together for lunch or something, or a glass of wine, and you have to get like all the chit-chatty stuff out of the way, and then we will get going. So you know what, Sandy? My dad last night was looking at it, and we found a marking on the box. So I need to do a little bit of research to see what year it is, but I know, so cool, right? All right, so I mentioned this a minute ago, but earlier this week, I released a brand new Traveler's Notebook kit, and this is the Garden Party Traveler's Notebook kit. With the kit, we will decorate the pockets, we will decorate 2 slip covers, and then also make a little special pocket, play with some photo flips and some ideas for taking washi with you on the go. So that is that brand new Garden Party Traveler's Notebook kit, and I've linked that in the description below, and that is shipping now. Okie dokie. Oh, lights. Hang on. I need to get our lights turned on. Light's not bad, but it'll be better when we turn on the studio lights. And then I will start hot flashing probably immediately. Marilee, did you ask about that? The pointing finger? I know, maybe for teachers, right, Tracy? With the multiplication symbols. Right, let's see. Yes, Mari, I'm going to have to do some research on how to probably clean up the rubber a little bit and make it a good surface for holding ink. The special pocket in the back, that is made with a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Okay, so I think it was Marilee. Marilee, you were asking about the pointing finger stamp. You know what I would do? I would literally Google pointing finger stamp. And then you may find something there. I know over the years I have seen stamps like that. I just don't know offhand who makes them. Hi, Fran the Lurker. Yes, maybe Tim Holtz. Etsy has them. Oh, very good. So great idea. I love it that you guys are giving suggestions on where she can find those, because I know it's a super fun one. Or Amazon. Sandy, yes, thumbs up, please, you guys. If you would give the video a thumbs up, if you're still here. If you're not here, you probably left for a reason, and you maybe gave it a thumbs down on the way. One thing, I think maybe it was Colleen, that someone emailed me earlier this week and said, hey, I might have figured out the thumbs down. If you thumbs up twice, it's like 2 negatives don't make a positive. 2 positives make a negative, I guess, in the YouTube land. So if you happen to thumbs up twice because you didn't realize you already thumbs up it actually turns your 2 thumbs up into 1 thumbs down. Okay. I think, is it Igioma, from Nigeria, is that right? Asked, is the color study paper pad and sticker book coming back? So here it is, you guys. I have now my 3rd reorder, I hope, coming in. I'm still waiting to hear back from American Crafts. Color Study has done incredibly well. That's Vicky Bouton's newest collection. It has done incredibly well. I should know, hopefully, I was talking with someone there on Thursday, so hopefully I'll know early next week. The thing that I can recommend is if there is something like that you're waiting for it to come back in, on the website, if it shows sold out, click on the email me when available button. As soon as I add inventory, if it's sold out, it automatically triggers an email to you. So we had some people take advantage of that this week. Where are those? Let's see. The Color Study Puffy stickers came back. And I bought a lot this time. A lot. I don't know where they are though. Anyhow, those are back. The icon stickers, we hadn't seen the icon, the icon die cuts we hadn't seen come in. I got a very small number. They may be sold out again on my website. Trying to get more. We'll just see what happens. Kimberly, I talked through the winners, and then I mentioned I will also put those up on my blog either today or tomorrow. So stay tuned. All right. So last week we did 3 lists, right? And I thought we'd talk about these just for a second before we jump into our list for today. So the first list was things I'm looking forward to this spring. Kimberly, thank you for answering. You're welcome. If I ever don't answer you, just know that I probably didn't see your comment. I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes the chat starts going pretty quickly and I just don't see it. So you can ask again. And then if I still don't answer you and you need an answer, email me and then I will hopefully reply. Okay, so first list, things I'm looking forward to this spring. I don't think I did much. Maybe I added a couple puffy stickers in there and maybe that little guy down there. But that's kind of pretty much how we left it, right? That's pretty much how we left it when we were done. So that was the first one. And it was fun. In the Facebook group, I saw a number of you sharing this list. So how your interpretation of things you're looking forward to this spring. And I saw this paper a couple times. I just love that paper. That is Bunnies and Blooms. All right, next one. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you were here last week, we spent a lot of time on this list. But we did a lot of talking about inks and distress oxide inks, and then distress inks. So the difference between the oxides and the regular inks. If you would like to know more about those, I would recommend that you go back to last week's video and find where I start working on this list because we talk a lot about that. One thing that I did, so I had used the Flutter Butterfly stamps and they were layered stamps. So that was actually 2 stamps, the background and then the layer that went on top. And this one I did differently. I flipped them. So I put the dark down first and then put the light. And I didn't necessarily like that as much. When I flipped it, I liked this version a lot better. And we talked about a couple different ways that I could fix that. And someone suggested, well, you could restamp it and then fussy cut it and just put that right on top. What I ended up doing, some of you, this won't surprise you at all. I got out my handy dandy, Sharpie, right? Got out my handy dandy Sharpie and all I did was outline it. All I did was outline and then that's what it needed. It kind of that light blue was just kind of floating off into no man's land. So I just outlined it and then I think it totally changed the look. So we had a lot of fun with those. This was fun too. We haven't done this before where we cut one of our 6x8 papers and then put a little bit more than half on one page and then have that carry over to the second page. I think that's something that I will probably use quite a bit, kind of that splitting the paper between 2 pages going forward. These stamps that I used, these were the Better Together stamps from Carrie Bradford. I saw yesterday on her Instagram because some of you had gone to try to find those and they were sold out. She just restocked a bunch of her stamps, including the Better Together. So as of yesterday when she posted, she had the Better Together set back in stock. Okay, last one. And this is the one that we will be starting with today. So I had mentioned last week this was going to be a 2-part list. Last week we did good habits. So documented good habits. And this week we are going to do the opposite. We are going to document our bad habits. So as I was getting my list together last week, I did all of that and then listed the good. So we'll jump right into the bad habits. One of the things that I mentioned as we were getting started on this list, the good habits list, was that I had a very difficult time coming up with the good habits side of my list. That's my personality. I'm definitely more of a glass half empty as opposed to a glass half full. You probably didn't know about that about me. But So a lot of times it's hard for me to see some of the positive things. So, I can go on and on about the bad habits, but in some cases I had to struggle for good habits like, recycling. That's a good habit. That's something I do. But now we're going to get into the bad stuff. Now we're going to get into the bad stuff. Okay. So I am grabbing the Max Carrie Bradford stamps. This is what I used last month. And I need to get BAD. So let's grab my little stamping box here. I will use the Juicy again. So as we were talking last week, we talked about how pigment inks. So the oxide is a pigment ink. Pigment inks tend to be juicier. And what I mean by juicier, you'll notice when you go to kind of press your stamp in or to ink your stamp, the ink pad is bouncy. So you get a lot more coverage. You get a lot more ink on the stamp when you are going to stamp. And that is the look that I prefer. When you are using a dye-based ink doesn't necessarily do that. It can. Another big difference is that the pigment-based inks take a little bit longer to dry. The other thing that we will see, well, you can't really see because I covered it up, but one of the things that we talked about last week, after I had stamped using the oxide ink, so used an oxide and then this pigment-based ink, so both pigment-based inks, after I had stamped those butterflies, when we turned it over to the other page before I had started working on this list, I mean, you could see a lot of the ink. And that is, it's not necessarily the paper. The paper on the Carpe Diem inserts that I use is very good quality. It's just when you're using an oxide ink like that, or a pigment ink, you're going to see a lot of bleed through generally, unless you're using like a thicker paper, like a watercolor paper or something. So here's an example. That is the stamp that I stamped on my little scratch paper here. And then when we turn that over, you can see, I mean, you can definitely see all that ink on the back side. That's just kind of bled through. And that's not a problem. It's just that you need to do something like this to cover it up. And I do this a lot, where I'll take a piece of pattern paper and use it as the base and then start my list from there. Okay, so that's just a little recap. Our little scratch papers here are turning into, I think they're kind of fun, right? Look at, I could basically just cut that out and use that for something, even though I didn't mean to do it that way, but it's kind of cool. All right, so let's get out our block. Let's see now what we're talking about. You guys are talking about printing and printing sepia, black and white. Nick, what? What are we talking about? The lipstick that I used 5 years ago. I have a lipstick problem. If you did the list with us a couple of weeks ago, the one that says I have a ridiculous amount of, I'm pretty sure the lipsticks is on that list. Even though I'm a creature of habit and you really only wear the same two. But sometimes you need to have a different one. Like today I needed to have a different one because, my outfit is very peachy and corally and light pink, and my regular kind of go-to lipstick just would not look right with it. So I had to change it up. I know that is some Vicky Boutin art going on right there, isn't it? And that's just our scratch paper, which is cool. All righty. Let us see here. I think I might need to move those just a tad. I am using, these, golly, these have been out of stock for a while. I have them on order. I'm just waiting for them to come back in. This stamping block set. I don't know. I want to say, Sarah, are you there, Sarah Foss? Was that you, Sarah, that so long ago said, hey, have you ever tried these? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I bought them. I'm like, I love them. And then I brought them into my website. These stamping blocks are cool because in a set you have 4 sizes. That's probably the size I use most often. There's a little teeny. And then, so this is like the baby bear's baby bear. And then this would be baby bear, and that would be mama bear, and that would be papa bear. I like that they have the grid on them, but I really like that they have these little handles. Those make life a lot easier for me when I'm stamping. So hopefully those will be back in stock soon. Alrighty, now I can already tell that that's crooked again. I could just go ahead and stamp first, but if I stamp first, then I will end up trying to pull them off and readjust while they have black ink on them, and I don't want to do that. All right, so now I always will test stamp first, and I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you have stamps like these two, the B and the A, that have not been used, you want to prime them first. And prime them just basically, you can prime in a couple different ways. Generally, the way that I always prime is I always just stamp. But some of you have mentioned that you can use an eraser and kind of erase the stamps, erase the top of the stamps. And Nick, yeah, Nick's ready to help with my bad habits. She might get mad. Yes, last week when I was coming up with the good and bad habits, we were driving somewhere, running errands, and I said, okay, honey, help me. What are my good habits? And yes, but then, bad habits. He just chimed right in. He had lots of suggestions for me on the bad habits, right? In the most loving way, though, of course. All right, so I am priming, but I also do this to make sure that I have things lined up correctly, and also to make sure that you have spelled things correctly, right? Now, B-A-D, that's pretty easy because it's just 3 little letters, right? But if you were spelling a longer word, good idea to just double check. Like this one, those were all individual stamps that describe me. So I test stamped first, number one, to make sure that I was priming. But number two, to make sure that I had the spacing where I wanted it to be, and then also spelled correctly. Because there's nothing worse than stamping and realizing you spelled something incorrectly. Stickers, sometimes you can move. I know, Nick, do you have a backup plan for sleeping arrangements? Coincidentally, he is headed out of town, so he does. Okay. Oh, Karen, good. Sometimes we need to sleep in. You missed me saying that I did the opposite. I woke up at 4 a.m. You know, just because. Why not? All right, so we will do, I think the bad will go right about there. Good was pretty tight, right? It was pretty tight on our list, but that's okay. Yes, Nick has a very far away backup plan for sleeping arrangements. And yes, Nick contributed to, he contributed to my bad habits list. Well, probably he's also contributed to the bad habits themselves, but he's contributed to the bad habits list. There are some things though that he said, how about this one? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to add that to my list. And he's like, no, really, I think you should. I'm like, yeah, no, not going to do that. Not going to do that. I'll just get these cleaned off a little bit. You can see last time I didn't clean off the D. And it just cleans right off. I just clean those with baby wipes. There is a link at the bottom, the description, way at the bottom of the video, where I've linked to a couple of, I think, really helpful articles on stamping from scrapbook.com. One is, I'm just trying to air those out really quick. One is, I'll do that off to the side. One is the difference between distress oxides and distress inks. One is how to clean your stamps. One is just a really great generic article about different inks and their different properties and when you might use one versus the other. And those are all things that I found as I'm learning. A couple weeks ago, actually, I think it was on our big 52-week extravaganza, I was saying that inks, I have no idea. I don't know the difference. I don't know when to use what. I just know what I like, and that's what I use. Since then, I've done some research. So we're all learning together. Okay, get those things off to the side. All right, I used my little ruler here. I think I would like to do the same thing, underline. Now, I'm not quite even. because I went way too high over here. But that's okay that I'm not even. Sometimes I will underline like that in between the title and then when I start writing, just to kind of give some good visual separation. I can see a little bit of white in there, and I am not a fan of that. So that's a lot of the reason why I stamp in black ink a lot, because then I can just go in and fill in any little holes. You probably couldn't even see those. And then we'll do that. And then let's see, habits good. And then I think I don't need to write habits again because I think that's pretty obvious that I have good habits and bad habits. Let's see. Oh, Karen, he does have a brother. Yes, his brother's taken. Yeah, Nick's a good one. He is a good one. I lucked out in that department, didn't I, Nick? Didn't I? All right. So here's the deal. I have a lot more bad than I did good. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So probably what I will do, I will use my little dot marker again. So my dot marker is the marker that, guess what it makes? It makes dots. Oh, that's a hard paper to show because it has dots. Oh, actually, this side will be okay. So depending on the pressure that I apply when I am using that marker, if I just do a little bit, I get a little dot. And the more I press down, the bigger that dot gets. So I can change the, I don't know, circumference, is that what it is? I guess change the size of the dot based on how much pressure I apply. So I know I want to use that again. I think I've linked this dot marker. It's one of my favorites in the description of the video. I don't sell it, but I think, I think I got that at scrapbook.com. All right, so I need 14 spaces. Now the question is, Karen Haynes, do I measure or not? Because we know what happens when I do that, right? Let's just go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can't believe that worked. That never works, right? It never works. Diameter, better way to put it. Yes, the diameter is across, right? Trying to go back to I think diameter is across, circumference is all the way around. Oh, Nick. Karen Petrowski and my husband Nick have actually known each other longer than Nick and I have known each other. Not much, but yes, they good for his ego. Yes, Karen, I think they are good for his ego. He was joking last night, you guys, that he said, I'm going to come on and say, hey, followers, because, that's why they come. They follow me. They don't follow you. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I said, honey, if you say, hey, followers, they're just going to think that you mean, hey, Lael's followers. So he's thinking about some other way he could come up with something. Oh, there's another Karen. Hi, Mom. Karen Warren. So we've got always lots of Karens. And I always have to say they're always the good Karens, right? Not the meme Karens, but they're the good Karens. Okay, so here we go to the bad list. Remember, as you guys are participating, if you want to share your bad habits in the chat, which I always think that's fun too, go ahead and share your bad habits in the chat because then it gives us all something to chat about. But also, after we're done, remember to go back in the comments and leave a comment on your bad habits because I've got those 2 fun scrapbook things from scrapbook.com, things that I purchased from scrapbook.com, but I bought to give away. Okay, first one is picking my, hold on, just don't fill that in yet. Let me finish, please. Picking my cuticles. Maybe not something else that you were thinking. Picking my cuticles. I'm a picker. I am a picker. I pick, if I have a sunburn, I like to, we don't even need to go into that, but I'm a picker. And picking my cuticles. So I really, really, really have been trying hard. We've talked about my nails. I've really been trying hard about not doing that because when I'm doing this all the time and I'm teaching like this, it's not good to have, janky looking fingers. So Picking my cuticles, very bad habit. Next one. Oh, okay. The next one is scowling. I'm sure you've noticed I have that lovely little vertical line in between my eyebrows. That is from scowling. I have a permanent, what do they say? RBF, resting, fill in the blank with the letter that starts with a B, face. I have a permanent one from all the scowling I do. I have that vertical line, which hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I just might come on a Saturday and you won't see that anymore. Or you'll see it less because I'm going to go get some Botox because it's bothered me for many years and that's what I'm going to do. Scowling. I scowl a lot, don't I, Mom? And Karen and Nick. You don't know, Mom, how do you know I don't pick my cuticles? Isn't that funny? My mom keeps saying, I always have to tune into your Saturday things on YouTube because there's so many things I learn about you. All right, scowling. Oh, okay, here we go. Procrastinating. Procrastinating. I procrastinate. If it's something I don't want to do, oh, I can find all different kinds of things. Like I'll vacuum. I will do lots of things to procrastinate. So procrastinating is another bad one. Resting teacher face. There we go. Tracy, it's an RTF, not an RBF. It's a resting teacher face. That's funny. I know, I think a lot of us have that. I'm going to say it's just, I don't know, genetics. Mom, do you have that? Oh, Karen. So my friend Karen, dead on, she prioritizes other people's needs in front of pursuing her own goals. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sugar. I pretty much would say it's an addiction. I totally think so. And they say sugar is definitely has properties that make it addictive, but I like sugar. And I don't mean like go, get out the sugar bowl and take a big old scoop. I mean anything with sugar. Roll your eyes too loudly. Mari, I do too. Mary Ferry, is that right? Mary, I think. Yes, I roll my eyes loudly. Sometimes it's hard to quiet those. Another one. This reminds you maybe of The Shining, the movie. All work and no play. What do they say about all work and no play? Eventually, Jack Nicholson will come to your bathroom door and chop it down with an axe. Yes, I'm not good at balancing those. So, Joyelle and salty foods. That's my friend Karen is salty. She's a salty versus a sweet. Carbs. Yeah, Tracy, that's another one. Carbs for me too. This one I'm kind of getting a little bit better at, but not enough. Sleeping with my makeup on. That's not intentional. Well, I guess it is. I don't say, oh, I'm going to put my makeup on and then go to bed. It's more of a, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I'm not going to take my makeup off before I go to bed. So that's a bad habit. The next one is forgetting people's names. I am really good with faces, and I'm actually really good with details. There are a lot of you on here, and there are lots of people that participate every week and different people that participate every week. And then I get lots of emails. So when I remember that Colleen, and that one I did remember a name, emailed me about the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. So I can see people and I can remember when we met and what we talked about and what you do for a living and your kids. It's just, I might not be able to remember your name. So I always tell people, please don't be offended. That's just one of my bad habits. Oh, Nick, if Nick's on, he is going to pipe in on this one a lot. Running late. I always think it will take me less time to do something and it actually does. So I am like a habitual 5-minute late person. Unless I'm with Nick, because Nick's a 5-minute early person. So, and yes, he has resorted to telling me that we have to be somewhere 15 minutes earlier than we really have to be. So running late, and it's not late, but it is about 5 minutes, which is, that's just silly. That's stupid. Another one. And I know there is no one else out here. out here, everyone watching, participating, I know none of you do this. This one is buying things and not using them. I know a lot of you do that because every once in a while you tell me that you didn't even realize you'd bought a product from me and then you buy it again. Yes, buying things and not using them. I get very excited about buying things and I have to have it. Oh, scrapbooking supplies, a lot of things. I just get very excited and then sometimes they get there and then I don't use them because the next thing comes and the next thing comes, the next thing comes. Okay, oh yeah, this is one. This is probably my least favorite of them, although it sure feels good when I do it. Swearing. I'm a bit of a swearer. Not here. I definitely know when it's appropriate and when it's not appropriate, and it's not appropriate here, but I swear. Yeah, so, oh well, it is what it is. I'm sure there are a lot of us out there like this one too. We, okay. I skipped a letter. This was supposed to say obsessively, and I skipped the S. So we'll just use my little gel marker to erase that. Now I need to wait for that to dry. So I will skip that space. Hold on. Obsessively. Okay, so OBS. OBSE, that's confusing me. Obsessively checking my phone. Anyone else? Like constantly on it, constantly, did I get an email? Did I get a hit? Obsessively checking my phone. More bad than good on this list. I know, that's what I was saying at the beginning, Sarah. This side of the list was really hard for me to come up to. The bad one was easy. Yeah, Nick. I do sometimes donate clothes that still have the tags on them because I get them and I'm super excited and then I put them away and then I forget and then, a while later I'm like, why? I don't want that anymore. Yes, Nick is definitely tattletaling. And guess what? If we were doing Nick's bad habit list, I think we'd put tattletale probably right up at the top, right? Oh, Nick. You're just so very humble, honey. We tried for an hour to list my bad habits, but we couldn't come up with any. Yes, okay, very good. Whatevs. Obsessively checking my phone. The next one. Saying, I say a lot. I say I say that a lot during our listing sessions. Someone once told me, don't feel bad about that because that just means that your brain is trying to think and trying to constantly think and thinking in what you're going to say next. And I said, okay, I say that often and I really, really, really dislike that, but I guess not enough to fix it. Yes, my mom said too, Nick has no bad habits. Kim, watching crafting more than doing crafting? Yes. Bragging can't. Maybe that's one of Nick's bad habits. He brags. No, he doesn't. Nick's bad habit, maybe collecting golf clubs or collecting skis. I'm sure we could come up with lots of things. Okay, next one. Negative self-talk, right? Hate that. Get it out. But that's another habit. That's kind of a lifelong habit, I think, unfortunately, for lots of us. And so it's there. Negative self-talk. The last one, and this is interesting. If you could say, okay, Leo, snap your fingers and you can automatically get rid of one of these. I don't know which one it would be, but this one I think would be towards the top of the list. Emotional eating. Probably not even hungry, but emotions are kicking in. So what can I eat? Yeah. Okay, friends, so that wraps up my good habits and bad habits list. One thing I need to do here, I need to date it because this one's really important for me to date. I want to make sure to date this because hang on. If I had done this 10 years ago, it would be very interesting to know what changed, what was the same and what changed. If I do this 5 years from now, it would be very interesting for me to go back and look at my good habits, bad habits list. So I definitely want to date this so I can kind of refer back to it. Let's see. Tasha, so when you were in high school, your English teacher would count the filler sounds. Yeah, I bet that is definitely something that would make us more aware of, right? Yes, Nick is an enabler. Nick is also an enabler. Nick enables Karen Petrowski very well, much to Karen's husband's chagrin. Yes, Nick likes to help Karen spend money before she's even given enough thought. Karen's definitely a thinker. All right, so what's today? 20. Why did that say 3:30? I'm a little concerned about that. Why I would have changed that to 3:30? 3:27. Always, always, always. I always test stamp. Always, always, always. I'm switching over to one of my dye-based inks for the, actually, all right, still a dye-based ink. I'm switching though, I was switching from pigment to dye because remember this one was really juicy and the dye is not juicy. When I am stamping with something that's pretty small, generally I tend not to like to use a pigment because it's so juicy. Sometimes it makes the letters kind of a little blurry. So I was going to stamp with that, but last week, you guys, I really got out of my comfort zone. Really. I stamped the date with a color instead of black. And I kind of liked the way that looked. I never do that. So I'm going to maybe try that again. Well, I'm going to try it again. Whether or not I like it, we'll see. So we'll do this one. This one is, the new Kitsch Flamingo. It's pretty bright though. So let's see. It may not. 3/27/21. That's the date. Oh, I know why. I'm glad I test stamped because the little characters in between the 2-digit date, month, and year, those you can change. And we were talking about those last week because somebody asked what the little characters, the different characters were. So I'm glad I test stamped. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but there's a star right now on one and there is an arrow right now on the other. And that would bother me. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but all right, let's see. There we go. So there's arrows now, 3/27/21. Now let's just put this over here and see if that will be too bright. I don't think so. I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. We're going to put it right there. What's underneath? All right. So really quickly, I wanted to check to see what was underneath because this guy is on the back side. That's a really, really, really thin piece of chipboard, but still there's a little bit of dimension to it. What I wanted to make sure was that I wasn't going to stamp maybe like halfway on, halfway off. That would totally, it would not work like the Karate Kid where you wax on, wax off. The halfway on, halfway off a stamp would make a mess because it'd be all disjointed. So that's why I turned it over to check to see what was on the back first. And I'm okay because that is about right there. So always check. I always like to check to make sure things like that. You worked hard on a list, right? You had fun. You were creative. You worked hard. You don't want to mess it up. Okay, so let's see if we can get this straight because that's generally what I don't do. And if it's not straight, it's okay. Oh, that's pretty straight. Okay, there we go, 3/27/21. It's a little bright. I'm sure if I looked around, I could have found, even worn lipstick, I bet would have been a little bit lighter, but it works, it's good. Okay, good and bad habits. Remember, when we're done with the video, really either today or anytime between now and next Saturday, leave a comment on the video, not in the chat, telling me one of your bad habits. And then I will draw 2 random lucky winners to win those prizes that I showed earlier. Okay, so really quick, let me just double check the chat, make sure I was going to say to make sure I haven't missed anything, but I know I've missed things, but let me just kind of catch up and then we'll move on to our next list. Karen, that's true. Karen has a hard time making decisions. She has no pictures on the walls. You have a few, but you've been in your house 20 plus years, right? I know. Sometimes it's just easier not to decide. Oh, Marilee, you got your finger pointing stamp. Awesome. I shouldn't do that because that's like a gun. Debbie, omelet with organic chicken, apple sausage, raw cheese, and salsa. Is that what your husband, did I see that your husband was making you breakfast? Sorry, I don't know if you could hear that. There was a very large crash in the house. So I'm not sure what happened. Nick just dropped something, I think. Anyhow, yes, that sounds amazing. If that's your breakfast brunch, that sounds so good. Is everything okay, Nick?
I just dropped the pressure cooker lid on my foot.
Oh, so. You did? The Instapot lid?
Yeah.
Will it still work? The Instapot, not your foot?
No, my foot broke the ball.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. Yeah, if you could hear that, that was, Nick said he made Mongolian beef last night in the Instapot, and it was so good, but the lid was, last night we did the dishes and then it was drying overnight. He dropped the lid on his foot to the Instapot. All right, just had to have a little sip of lemonade before we move on to the next one. All right, our next list is favorite Easter memories. And this is where I'm bringing in the bunnies side of the Bunnies and Blooms collection from Simple Stories. I usually, see if I think I had this here. I usually will do, so I usually do usually every season, something like this. Fall memories. There's one that was summer memories that we did. There was one, I think, favorite winter memories. But I will do for this one, favorite Easter memories. So this will be a 2-page list using some of the die cuts and papers from that Bunnies and Blooms collection. And I've linked the Bunnies and Blooms collection in the description of the video. All right, so I pulled out some papers. I won't use this guy because he's too big, but so cute. That you could, if you decorate for Easter, that's 6 by 8. You could put that in a frame and it would be the cutest thing, just like right on your little shelf. All right, so I pulled out these two things. These both came from the Garden Party die cuts. So Maggie Holmes Garden Party die cuts. Hopefully those are coming back in as well, the paper pad and the die cuts and the washi. But I thought if I wanted to kind of do something similar that I've done in my other setups, those two would kind of be similar. So we'll kind of start with that maybe as a possibility. And then I pulled out just some of the other papers. No. So that could potentially, that's not super Easter, although then this kind of blends into the background, so maybe not. Oh, I also need to figure out what washi I'm going to do along the bottom. That would probably be a good idea. These are 2 of the 3 Bunnies and Blooms washi from Simple Stories, so maybe those. You know what I'd really like? My yellow stripe. I don't know where the yellow stripe is. So let's see, maybe those. That definitely stands out better, right? So I think that's just super cute, but those things blend too much into the background. We need a little bit more contrast. So that would work, as would this, because super cute too. And then I'll be working in some bunnies. And I don't know which bunnies yet I'll be working in. But I do know this. I will use that. A lot of times I'll just use alpha stickers to say, Easter memories. But since I have Easter there, I actually did something similar to that. Well, kind of. So that was favorite Halloween memories. So that one was designed obviously a little bit different and used a little tag there. So Easter. So what I could do is I could do favorite and then memories below, maybe. If I did that, I would use the Ariana, that's awesome. One of your mom's friends gave you stuff for Easter to make cards and lists. You're going to use it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. French bulldogs. These little guys, that's funny. French bulldogs are cute. All right, so what I am going to do, I am going to grab, these are the alphas, the sticker books from Simple Stories. And I'm just going to grab, probably, I'm just looking color-wise, what we might use. All right, I think one of those should work. Because what I might like to do is, so no yellow and nothing probably there, that would work. These could be kind of fun if they match that. So, da-da-da. And that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, Simple Stories, Bunnies and Blooms, and this is Simple Stories Lights. So I'm going to, I think, pair those, and I will use these little stickers. So to start, I need to trim this paper. And I should probably mention, the reason why, once I decided to go with that, the reason why I chose this paper versus this one, well, style-wise, number one, this is pretty whimsical, and it goes well with this. I mean, not as, although it wouldn't be bad, not as whimsical. However, it'd be really hard for me to do my title above and below because it would kind of get lost. So that is why I'm settling on this. Not settling, but that's why I picked this one. Hi, Anne. All right, so we will just, the inserts I use are standard wide. They are 8.25 tall by 5 inches wide. So when I am using 6x8 paper, which is almost exclusively what I use in my traveler's notebooks because they're already sized, I just need to cut them down a little bit. I like to have a little bit of a border, a little bit of the white border. So that will give me white border. And I need my corner rounder. There we go. Oh, Josephine, you did. You got your order. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Which class? Which one did you do? Did you do the Grateful Heart or did you do the new Garden Party Traveler's Notebook? The Grateful Heart class is coming up on Tuesday. Oh, shoot. Forgot my one very important thing that we need is adhesive. My tape runner. Okie dokies. That will go right there. If you missed last week when I was talking about the Bunnies and Blooms collection, what I really liked about it was that it really has two totally different themes. They work well together, but one is spring with all the flowers, and the other one is Easter. And in my book, that makes a collection really go far because you can do a lot with it when it has two themes like that. So even when Easter is over, the Bunnies and Blooms still has relevance because of all of the springy flowers and gardens and things like that. All right, I'm not adhering that quite yet. Wanda, every 6x8 pad. I agree. And you know what's interesting? Because I look all the time And when I find them, I bring them into my website because for me, when I'm personal crafting, and this is my personal crafting, but when I'm personal crafting, I use 6x8 because, again, they work so well in a traveler's notebook. So I'm always looking for new ones for me to use. Maybe I'll just do Easter. We'll see. We'll try favorite and see how that looks. Oh, I'm always looking. Yes, I'm always looking for 6x8 pads because they work so well. And they're compact. So as far as storage goes, I'm not trying to store a bunch of 12x12 paper. Now, I also use 12x12 paper, other projects, but when it comes to my traveler's notebooks, give me all the 6x8 pads. And there are not too many companies that make them. Simple Stories does. American Crafts does for their brands. So Vicky Booten, Heidi Swap, Jen Hadfield, Amy Tan, Willow, yeah. Seemed like there should have been another word for that. Oh, all of Maggie Holmes, but not a lot of companies. Fancy Pants has started making them. 6x8 pads. I had a little chat with them and said, hey, do you know what I would really like? I would really, really like it if you guys would change your pads to 6x8 because 6x6, I know are popular, but with a 6x6, you can't get bigger, but with a 6x8, you can get smaller, right? You can go from 6x8, you take a 6x8 and cut your paper down to 6x6 if you needed that. So I wish, if I had my wish, I would have every manufacturer would do 6x8s instead of 6x6s. They're also, those of you that are scrapbookers, 6x8s are also great for like your 6x8 mini books. I mean, they're just perfect for that. I use those a lot in my mini book classes and kits. All right. I am using my metal ruler to line this up. I am doing that for a couple of reasons. One, we will actually both will see in a second. But these little rulers, I can't tell you. This little ruler is probably one of the biggest sellers on my website. And I think it's because most of you that are shopping from my website are using traveler's notebooks. So it's a 6-inch ruler, so it's smaller. It's nice to throw in your bag if you're, working on the go, but it's sized a little bit better for a smaller surface area like a traveler's notebook that we're using. But also, I don't even remember also. Anyhow, totally just squirreled in my head, but not out loud. Okay. So here we go. And I'm not quite committing to this yet. I mean, I'm going to use it, but I'm not quite committing to the placement yet. So I'm going to kind of move it around. I haven't adhered it. But the other thing I use the ruler for is lining up my stickers for titles. So not only can I decide where it needs to go, like left to right? Because all I need to do is kind of move this around like this and go, yeah, that looks good there. But then it makes it very easy to make sure that they're straight because I've lined them up. I've used one of the little lines on the rulers to line them up. And then to get them off, all I do, so I think that all I do is then press down and lift up. Now the nice thing is because I haven't adhered that Easter yet, then I can kind of decide where that goes. All right, so all we're good except for my A. So we'll just pull the A off and place it. Favorite, Easter. Okay, that works. It's not quite, I didn't quite get it centered, but it'll be close enough. Maybe I'll put something right up there. Actually, get my glue pen out just for the side. These little guys right there, that's a little bit harder to get. Danger. Come on. A little bit harder to get my adhesive there, and I don't want those little guys to lift. Tamika. Glad you joined us live. You'll probably soon find that the lives are not too much different than when you watch the replay, other than we say hello. I always joke, if you didn't know that I was not doing a live, or if you did, anyhow, you know what I mean. If you were watching and you didn't know whether I was live or Memorex, then you wouldn't know, because it's pretty much the same. Alrighty. Before I get too much further, I want to outline. Concentrate. That's hard for me to sometimes talk and do at the same time. Pretty sure that if you could see my face right now, my tongue is sticking out. You guys do that? Like when you're concentrating on something, does your little tongue stick out a little bit? I mean, not a lot, but all right, there we go. There's my outline. Okay. Oh, I missed something exciting. What did I miss? Oh, Colleen, the Crop and Create card making last weekend. I was talking to Catherine earlier this week about another thing that's coming up in April that I'm participating in with them, and she said it was that it was really fun. That she was very pleased with how it turned out, and sounded like a lot of fun. Favorite Easter? So, if this is going to work, well, maybe news at 11. I'm not sure if it'll work, because then I need to squeeze in memories. So let's go ahead and get memories ready. Probably in hindsight, I could have just done Easter memories and put that up there and not included favorite. That would have given me a little bit more room. Little bit more room. Hi, Monica from Sao Paulo. Okay, memories. I'm gonna, oopsie, no N. We don't need the N. Just move that over there. Same thing. I know this part's like watching paint dry, but it is what it is. I don't ever do anything beforehand. I mean, I always ahead of time know what I'm going to, well, not always. I try to always plan out the products that I'm going to use. Because if we don't do that, you know, sometimes when you sit down to work on a creative project and you just are starting from complete scratch, total blank slate, sometimes you're like, oh, what do I use? And then you're going through all your stuff. And so I try to eliminate that or reduce it at least a little bit when we're doing these. But other than that, and I also have to know what's on my list. Because I can't just do that on the fly. We'd be here forever. But other than that, just kind of we're working. And as I work, I like to talk about, lots of things, right? But also talk about why I do things, because I think that's really interesting. And I find it interesting when I watch other people on YouTube too, or on Facebook Live or whatever. It's really interesting, I think, to you know what I might do? I'm just going to see how this looks. If I have that overlapping, because if I have that overlapping, then I will actually come back later. I won't do it now, but I will come back later. I'm going to do that. I will come back later and I'm going to drop favorite down a little bit so it will overlap as well. That'll just kind of bring everything in a little bit tighter. And then it's not so distracting to have the little flowers in between. So what I mean by that, I will come back in and attempt to lift all these guys up. And now I can line them up. Let's just get a few of those in there to see. Tweezers, the reverse grip tweezers, those are another one of my go-tos. I will tell you, I sell them on my website, but remember I told you guys about the sale that scrapbook.com is having this weekend? If you don't already have a pair of these, they have their own exclusive brand, but it's basically the exact same thing. And they have them on sale this weekend too. So really, really good price, like $4, I want to say. So if you've been holding off on getting one of those from me, you should get them from scrapbook.com because you'll save that way. All right. Yes. So I will come back in and finish those later. Okay. So then do we still do this? If we do those, I need to figure out a bunny. If I want to use one bunny or two. What I'm going to do over here, because I really don't know yet what I'm going to do on this side. So we could do gray bunny. That could be cute. And you know what? Before, when I had kind of in this layout, I had done a little bit of journaling right there, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Karen, they don't have printers, I know, right? But there's lots of things that we, that I talked about at the beginning. Scrapbook.com is having a big sale right now on a lot of their exclusive products. So they're like the little tools like this. They have these, their own brand of these, but it's the same thing, that are half off maybe. So I think those are $4. Lots of storage things. No printers. So this little guy is so cute though. Now, if I use this guy, I won't use this one over here because that's just too much. It's, first of all, too much gray. Then I might go, well, could I put another pink bunny here? Or isn't that too weird to have bunny? And I think that's too weird to have bunny. So I won't do bunny over here. But I really like this tall bunny. It reminds me like of a stuffed bunny. So I like him. And so I will use him there. What I really wish, Simple Stories did not do a sticker book with Bunnies in Bloom. They didn't do a sticker book. So I wished that they did because I'd use some of their like word strip stickers in a few places, but I'll use some other word strip stickers. Okay. Something will go down here because, you know, it needs something. I've been using a lot of butterflies lately. I noticed that when I was looking on my Instagram feed that like the last 4 or 5 photos have, not photos, images, whatever, have, oh, that might work, have butterflies in them. I like butterflies. And we talked about this before. There are actually a lot of scrapbook products that have butterflies. A lot of scrapbook, especially when it comes to spring, right? All right, I think I like that there. So that will work there. This will be a photo list. I did think about adding a big photo over here from when the kids were little. The boys were little, which would have been super cute, but it didn't happen. So a photo list. But this is a kind of list like this. This is a really good crossover between, oh, don't do that yet. It's a good crossover between memory keeping and list making, right? Because we are really, I mean, I'm talking about my Easter memories. I'm just doing it in list form. UPS just got here. Just doing it in list form. And then if I added photos, then it'd be, oh, whoopsie, wrong spot. Okay. The duck. I know, maybe the duck, right? I think I'm going to end up with the flower. This is why I'm not going to use the duck on this side. Here's the thing. So this duck is facing left, right? If I put him here, then it's, to me, it's weird because he's like looking back. This guy's okay to look back because that means he's looking this way. But this guy looking this way is weird. If I put him over here, it'd be fine because then he's looking this way. But that's just me. That's just me. Okay. Please stay on when I am gone. Oh, Nick, everyone's going to be so sad. They're going to leave now. Now that you left, they came for you, so now they're gone. Please stay on. Kim, it was you, right? With the side-eye bunny when we were doing the spring, Traveler's Notebook kit, right? The side-eye bunny. All right. And you know what? Familier 1999. That's just how I think of it. Nothing wrong with putting the duck there, but in my mind, that's what I instantly think. Like, oh, the duck's looking the wrong way. So nothing wrong with it. It's just my preference that I like things to look forward instead of back. Unless it's back like this because it's a spread, so it's okay. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? I haven't added any washi yet. So, let's see. This could be cute, maybe. We'll have to see what it looks like under here. This is, so there's 3 rolls in the Bunnies and Bloom washi. I don't know offhand where the third one is because it is a little bit darker and it didn't look nice in there in the picture with all of the nice pastel washies. No golf. Heading to Home Depot. Oh yeah, it's an exciting world that we live here, friends. Exciting world. I don't know. That's going to be a lot of mint. Let's just pretend and see what it would look like. Oh, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. So I am going to actually cut right here instead of have it span in one single piece across both pages. That will just make it a little bit easier to turn the page. It'll make it a little bit less bulky. All right. It's a lot of mint going on. We're going to have to cover some of that up. I think with some, ooh, maybe this. Maybe this. There we go, Kim. So Kim said, all the professional designers say you should always have things looking in, even with wall groupings. There we go, looking in. Oh, and Scrappy Matilda, exactly. Same thing in newspaper editing. So looking in. Kim, do I ever store your washi in the Ziploc with the paper and ephemera? I do, for sure. For sure. So what I will do when I'm kind of done working, well, yes, I do. Let's just leave it at that. That's just easier. Yes, I do. All right, this one, I've had this one forever. I don't even know who makes it, but I love it. And it's a little bit more papery as opposed to kind of, you know how some washi feels like it has a little bit of a wax coating on it. This one feels a little bit more paperish. Now, what's funny is all of my Easter memories have to do with the boys. So when you have lots of men in your life, you still have to use, because I like all of these things. So I like all the flowers and the pastels, and so there. All right, little washi. Little washi always goes a long way. All right, and then our little bunny will go right there. Deep, 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 deep. And I am using my glue pen here instead of tape runner just because there's a lot of little parts, his little whiskers and ears and arms and legs and his tail that I wouldn't be able to cover with the tape runner. So I want to make sure that we get that down. He's so cute. Okay, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Ekrin? Ekrin? Is that how you pronounce your name? Ekrin. Hi. Oh, and this is, okay. Ekrin Vbeza. I know I totally just butchered that, so I apologize. Hello. All right, here we go for our list. I am going to use my colored pencils. I haven't pulled these out in a long time. They seem to come and go in my listing. But when I'm making a list like this, just like I did on this one, when I'm making a list like this and doing a lot of writing, I want something that will help that stand out. Sorry, I keep kind of, probably you can hear me and then not really because I'm turning around and grabbing my colored pencils. I still haven't swatched them, friends. I still haven't swatched them, so my colored pencils. So now we have a little bit of trial and error. I think maybe, well, let's see if I can find a pink. So let me write my first little thing here. Okay, so the first one would be, where's my pen? Where is my pen? Okay. Yes, that bag, isn't that fun? Amazon. I will, when we're done, I will link it. I think there's like maybe 10 different patterns, but it is great for, this holds lots and lots and lots of pens and pencils. And okay, so let's do, I think maybe a pink, but oh, my first thing is coloring eggs. Well, of course, right? That's got to be one of our things. And I guess it's more dyeing eggs, right? Not really coloring eggs. So what I would do here is now I'd find a pink, and there's lots of pinks. So I'm just going to have to kind of try to find one that will work. Let me grab a piece of scratch paper. See, we don't throw these things away because you never know when you need it. Okay, so let's see. That is, I mean, that could work, right? But it might be a little pink. Let's see if we can go this way. Nope, that's like flesh colored. We don't need flesh color. In this case, another flesh color. This is why. All right, I want, when we were doing our 52-week thing a couple weeks ago, I said, I need someone to come to my house and help me and clean up everything after me and do all the things, right? And we were joking about that. This would be another duty. I need someone to come swatch all my colored pencils for me. So then I don't do this every time, right? I can just look at my little swatches and go, oh yes. I just go, oh yes, that's what I need. Oh yeah, way too pink. Way too pink. So, oh, that one is too. So it'll just be one of those. And the lighter that I do it, the less pink it will be, right? The lighter I color, the less pink it will be. So, that gets outlined like that. And then, which of these two? I need to get away. Oh, you can see I've done that before. That one or that one. This one. All right. So dark to outline and then light to color it in. So just gives a little bit of color. And then also by making a box around that, it will help separate the, it'll help separate from my journaling. Oh my gosh, Nick, how in the world did I not have that on my list? I can't believe it. That's because I didn't ask you. Sometimes I'll be like, Nick, what are my favorite Easter memories? And then I have some, but he helps. Yes, I can't believe that. Brunch at Uncle Manny's. Yeah, those were such great memories. All right, coloring eggs. Let's see. Oh, my neighbors are, that makes me want to cry. My neighbors are walking by and they just yesterday had to put their dog to sleep and they walk their dog like multiple times a day. I could just hear them outside and they've had that dog for a long time, Sweet Molly. So, oh, okay, sorry. Coloring eggs. All right, let's see. When you have boys, you never know how the eggs are going to look mostly a brown mess, right? Always so fun, but then they get excited and dunk it in one and dunk it another one and dunk it another one, dunk it another one, and then brown, right? Okay, coloring eggs. And now I want to do the Easter brunch at Manny's. Okay, so let's see. Easter brunch at Manny's. Same thing. Go bust open the UPS boxes to see what came. Those of you that did the spring Traveler's Notebook kit on Thursday this past week, we did April. And we had the April class Thursday night. And I was telling everybody during that class that 15 boxes. UPS delivered 15 boxes. And a UPS driver is a very nice man. But I think every time he comes over, he's like, oh my gosh, because literally they're all heavy. And he's like, one out of the truck onto the front porch, 2 out of the truck onto the front porch, 3 out of the truck onto the front porch. All right. So Easter brunch at Manny's. What? One of our favorite of all the memories, Nick's entire family omelets that they would cook outside on a grill in the backyard. Now, what's interesting about that is I live in Utah. They lived in Utah. Easter in the spring. Utah in the spring, you never quite know what you're going to get. So sometimes it'd be really cold, still in the backyard, because it wouldn't fit everybody. Nick's dad was one of 13 kids, I want to say. And so lots of aunts and uncles, lots and lots and lots of aunts and uncles. Okay, so Easter brunch at Manny's. I can't believe I forgot that one. Next one is Grandma C's Easter egg hunts. So Grandma C is Nick's mom. And for as long as I can remember, she would have Easter egg hunts for the kids. And we used to rotate holidays with Nick's family. And for a long time, we did Easter at our house. And so Nick's brother and sisters would come over and their kids would come over. And Nick's mom and her husband, all the kids call her Grandma C. Nick's mom and her husband would come over and hide all the eggs in the backyard. Again, the photos from those, not necessarily the best photos because all the kids are cute in their little spring Easter pastel things and all the grass is just brown and dead because it goes dormant here in the wintertime. But lots of fun with the Easter egg hunts. So Gary and C hiding eggs in our backyard. Easy to find for the littles. Harder for the bigs. And then let's see, sought after golden egg. With money in it. So it's funny, the little kids would always look for the little eggs and the bigger kids would be like they wanted the golden egg because money. And sometimes I think she even once did, or not once, but I think she even as the kids got older started to do like a really big egg like this big And everyone really wanted that egg because then she would put like, $20 bill in it, and all the kids were like, oh my gosh, they'd be so excited. All right, Grandma C's Easter egg hunts. Next one. Oh, I almost wrote that out. And I think I'll just do one more here and then we'll go on because I will finish this, but we all don't need to sit around while Lael journals lists about her favorite Easter memories. Okay, so last one for now will be Easter brunch with the Becks and Petrowskis. So my friend Karen, that was on earlier, I don't know if she's still on, her husband and kids, and then another couple that let's see, 5 of the 6 of us went to college together. Karen did not, but 5 of the 6 of us went to college together. So our kids have all grown up together. And when our kids were all little, I don't remember if we would do this. Maybe we'd do it on a Saturday instead of Sunday. But we would get the kids little when our kids were teeny. Hi, Amanda. Teeny. We would get all together and have brunch at the Becks, and we would line up the kids. So when the kids were teeny tiny, the one I remember the most is Sam at 6 months old. We'd line the kids up in their Easter outfits by age and take pictures. Now, the funny thing with that is years later, we reenacted the lineup. So you ever see some of you'll see photos where there'll be, little kids and maybe it's a brother and 2 sisters and they have their arms around each other and they're wearing overalls or something like that, let's say. Then 20 years later, they reenact the same photo and then they're in the same poses and things, but they're adults. So we did that and oh my gosh, so funny. So fun. All right. So I will stop there. I will for sure finish this up between this week and next week. And then I will share how it turns out next week. I need to still move my letters. So I've got the favorite down below. I'll add probably a couple more stickers, maybe word strip sticker. I'm thinking right there because that's a great place. And I'll finish my journaling. So then that will finish that one up. Okie dokes. So let me just very quickly, I want to get some of this out of the way because it will just make life a lot easier. We'll be able to see. I'll be able to see and focus and you guys will be able to see. So let's get out my little storage pouch that has the rest of my bunnies and blooms. These little storage pouches, I just buy on Amazon and I link them in the description of the video as well. This is how, and I'll just talk about this as I'm doing this. This is how I organize my collections. So when I first get a new collection and I'm really working with the collection, in this case, bunnies and blooms, I like to keep it all together. So I have all the stickers, the die cuts, the paper pad, the washi. So someone had asked about that before. When it's not over here for a picture, then I would put them in there. So that keeps everything in this collection together. So when I get a new collection, that's how I tend to work with it, is all together. But as I start working through the collection and then maybe I'm not, I've used as much of it as I'm really going to use as a collection, then I would break it out of here and separate it. So I would have one of these that's seasonal, not Christmas, because Christmas is too much. But I'd have one that's seasonal that I might put like the Easter things in, the little flowers and things in. I might take some of the paper like this one that is floral, because I have one that has a lot of flowers in it, and so that would be another one. So I kind of separate things. But I get those put away, and then that's a little bit easier, because then I bring out this one. This is Willow. Willow I've had for a little while. I didn't have it for a while, and then brought it back in because people were asking for it to come back. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful collection by a company called One Canoe 2, and that was a brand that American Crafts did for a while. It is a really nice, kind of soft collection, and I wanted to use something super soft for this next list. This list is, I remember where I was when. I remember where I was when. And you can decide how you want to take this list. This could be, I don't want to say positive or negative, but you could, oh, I forgot to use these. I need to use those. So I put those in there on my last list. And let me just get these pencils put away. So this could be like, I remember where I was when I found out I was pregnant, or when I found out this, or when I started doing this, or stopped doing this. I don't know, maybe you were a smoker for 20 years and you remember where you were when you decided to stop smoking, or really you decide what you want your list to be. But it's really focusing on kind of big things in your life, or big things from your perspective in our history that you want to remember where you were when it happened. It kind of reminds me of when I was younger. People talked a lot about they remember where they were when President Kennedy was shot. And I was not alive then, but that was kind of a big thing, that if you talk with people, like maybe baby boomers, or a little bit maybe on the earlier end of the baby boomers, so older generation, they could all tell you where they were when President Kennedy was shot. So I thought that'd be kind of an interesting list, a little bit heavier than your favorite Easter memories, but one I thought that would still be interesting to document regardless. So in the, let's see, on my blog post, I had included a list of things that I would be building my list around. Stardust Love. See, there you go. I remember where I was when my son got his first vaccine for COVID. Kim, I remember where I was when Reagan was shot. That's the first one that is on, that's the first one that's on my list. So you decide if you're doing this list. Karen Haynes, Prince Diana, Challenger, 9/11, those are all things on my list, because those are the things that were kind of my era. And then I even included some things that are a little bit more current. All right, so this is why now, because it's a little bit heavier subject, right? This is why I thought for me that Willow would be kind of a good collection for this. So I hadn't used anything from the paper pad before, so I was kind of flipping through this morning. And what I thought is I want to be cognizant about, if this was a one-page list, what I would put over here. Meaning, if this is, I remember where I was when 9/11 happened, I probably don't want to have like my favorite breakfast cereal over on this side. And that's just me, nothing wrong with that. So this will be a 2-page list. I don't know yet if I'm going to write on both sides, because what I thought I might do is have one side just be pattern paper. And as I was looking at this pad this morning, I was thinking that this might be a really nice something to put on the other side of my list. Because it's just nice and soft and doesn't really, you know, have a theme to it. So let's grab our trimmer. Willow is linked in the description of the video. So I think the die cuts are gone, but the paper pad and the stickers are still in stock. All right. So I would like this to be, let's see, if I just cut that part off, That's all right. I don't need to come in. Sometimes, depending on what the pattern is here, sometimes I might take half off one edge and half off the other edge to keep that pattern centered, but I don't think I need to do that in this case. It would work fine cutting this part off, but I think I'm just going to cut over here because I think you get a little bit more on this side. Now, here's the thing. There is absolutely nothing wrong. Even if you're doing a list like this, it's a little bit, you know, more thought-provoking than our breakfast cereal list. A little bit more thought-provoking, but there's nothing wrong. If you decided that you wanted to do, Kim, no batteries. I'm not sure what to tell you, friend. Kim was in class on Thursday night, and she was very much struggling with her trimmer and replacing the batteries, and she just said she still doesn't have batteries. So if you decided you wanted to use bunnies and blooms on this spread, that's fine. You do you, right? We always talk about that. You do you. You are making the lists for you as part of creative therapy or whatever it is. That's certainly what it is for me. But you decide what you want to use. There's no listing police, right? There's no one that's going to tell you that you used the wrong paper or the wrong sticker or the wrong theme for something. And if they do, you have my permission to tell them whatever you want to tell them. Go to AT double hockey sticks. All right. Now, that could kind of be interesting, right? Doesn't it look like a piece of art? I know, it is beautiful. Debbie's therapy. So yesterday when I came up with this last list, I'm like, Nick, what do you think about this one? And he's like, well, maybe you could put some more positive things on your list. And I said, okay, like what? And he's like, generally we think of, unfortunately, we think of things that are a little bit more sobering when we are remembering what we were doing when, right? So, anyhow, yes. Let's see. Oh, Tracy, see, there we go. Tracy remembers where she was when she found out she was going to be a grandma for the first time. So wonderful. Mandy said the Berlin Wall, right? Now, what's funny, Mandy, about the Berlin Wall, when I think of the Berlin Wall, I think of David Hasselhoff. Not interesting, because I think he did something during that. Baby Jessica down the well, right? Now, I remember Baby Jessica and down the well, but I don't remember where I was then. Hey, Vicky Booten. What? Yeah, you came into an interesting list, Vic. Where this list topic is I remember where I was when. So depending on when you popped in, you may have heard me talking about something kind of interesting. Debbie, when you were offered your first teaching job, perfect. So yes, they can definitely be, you decide the spin that you want to put on it. My spin, David Hasselhoff. Yes, David Hasselhoff, you remember from the red car. And let's see, he did when he had the red talking car called Kit. And then he was on Baywatch too. David, like Berlin Wall, David Hasselhoff. And I'm out. I've got something I need to do. I need to go wash my hair. Something like that. Yes, Stardust Love. He did a concert there, Knight Rider. Okay, so I'm not sure. We've talked about this a couple times. We've talked about doing something with the strip that you have left over once you trim. So this I don't know, that might be kind of weird. That might be kind of weird. We'll see. I'm just going to look to see though if there's something really subtle. That's subtle, but it's too pink. The pink won't match up. But I needed something just like that. So, and that's too dark. That's really pretty gold foil. That is pretty, but then that's not really solving my problem. I need something that I can write on. Use it. Okay, that's pretty. So that could go there. I know what I'm going to do. Okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to do a few layers here. So interesting. This actually reminds me of a paper that I used a couple weeks back from Heidi's brand new Carefree collection. The one that I used, actually, this isn't, there aren't multiples, so we won't see it. But it was something kind of like this, right? So sometimes if you look at a piece of paper like that, or like this one, and you're like, oh, I don't really know what I would do with that. Do this, just have it be, you know, the accompaniment to your list, because that would be fun. And then this one was the one that I just, the clouds, right? This actually would have been a really good one to do with this collection too. These are coming back in as well. But the one I was looking for, this paper. See, I knew it. I knew it. As soon as she heard Berlin Wall and David Hasselhoff, she's like, I'm out. No, I'm just kidding you, Vic. And Vicki and I are very much alike in that, yes, we both will procrastinate. Probably the worst thing that we procrastinate on is when we are having to write instructions for our classes. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use this piece. And then I will do that. And it's going to end up overlapping, but I didn't really need to make it go that far because then that other piece will go right here to start. But I have to round these corners or else our right angle 90-degree corners will stick out of the round and we don't want that. So let's put this away for a second. Try not to have that. Have fun, my peoples. Vicki, we need to chat at some point this week, okay? Lots going on. Okay. Maybe like Monday, if she's still there. Kylie, your sister's friend had a black Trans Am and you were sad it didn't talk. Oh, that's funny, right? Wait, what do you mean? They don't all talk? They don't all talk? All right. So then this is going to go right over that. Right there. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, and we should still save that because you never know what you might do with that. My list is going to be on something that will go right kind of here and it will overlap. So it will kind of just be placed right about there. So my options are, if Terry Leto's on here, I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do because I don't think I'll be able to do it. I will see. Nope. That cream is just not the right color. Too much. This is too much yellow. This is kind of like a greenish undertone. So we won't use that. I'd probably go to my standby. There's probably none left. This is the Woods paper pad from Simple Stories. That one side has wood pattern, other side has office pattern. I was looking for the grid. Because guess what? I really wish that they had a whole pad that was just the grid. But you can tell that I have another one, so I can still have the grid because I've used all the grid out of the other pad already. So let's see. I don't know, the grid. So now in hindsight, I'm not going to use the grid. The reason I'm not going to use the grid is because the pattern here is kind of fighting with the pattern in the grid. There's just a little bit too much going on. So this goes back, and I think this will come into play. I just need to decide if I don't want these margins. I don't want those vertical lines because normally I just incorporate them right in, but I already also have a vertical line right here. And so I don't want to have another vertical line kind of getting in the way. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh, let's move this now. Oh, what did I miss that you need to put it in all caps? I just saw that. So Mari, a whole pad of grid. I would just need to, I would just need to find who has a 6x8 pad of grid because I don't think anyone does. Sean Cassidy. Oh yes. Yeah, David Hasselhoff was not my thing, but Sean Cassidy. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be. So, oopsie. Ooh, that's going to be pretty, that's going to be pretty thin. I probably don't want it to be pretty thin. So guess what? Don't mind me. I wasn't paying enough attention to what I was doing. So I'll just tuck this right back in my little thing right there and get another one of those. Actually, that's close enough. I was, the whole reason I'm doing this, if you kind of missed that, is I was all of a sudden making my list was going to be really thin. And I didn't want it to be thin. I need to have lots of room for writing. So let me chop that off first. So that ends up being about 3.5. So, and I'm not sure if I want that part or not. And maybe I'll keep that up there for part of the title. And then what if we stop right here? Actually, let's stop right here and then I can always cut more off if I need to. There. Okay, that's a start. That is a start. Oh yeah, don't use cream or you'll be miserable next Saturday. I know, that's why I said if Terry was here. She tried to tell me that one time I did, didn't she? She's like, I told you so. I told you so. All right, now beyond picking that paper, I haven't picked anything else. So I'm not sure what else I'm going to do here. I need things that make my soul happy. That would not be one to use here, for sure. So that would be pretty. Let's see what that would look like. The insides of the little stickers are coming out. Look at Kim's comment. Okay, wait. Where? I think I just saw it. Kylie, I think, maybe. Did I see that comment? Oh, Kim, I'm glad you feel that way about the instructions. I work hard on the instructions. So Kim's talking about my mini book kits or my, classes. Yes, I think that will be nice there. Yes, I work hard because that's important to me that I would want, if I was buying a kit, I would want the instructions to be super clear. It just makes life a lot easier. And actually, part of it's selfish. It makes life a lot easier on both of us, me and you, if the instructions are clear. Because then you don't have to email me and say, hey, I don't understand. But definitely makes things a lot easier now that in this world of so many virtual things in the last year that now my classes are, I actually do it with you, the project. All right, so I'm going to have to write really small. Because I want all of this to just be nice and thoughtful. And I am going to use, I'm just going to say, remember. And then I'm going to use remember with alpha stickers. So I am going to use the ones from one of the scrapbook.com sticker books because I know I've used these before with Willow. So I know that they match, they coordinate well. So let's get out our ruler. Yeah, it's such a beautiful collection. It really is. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. All right, remember. Let's see. R-E. 3 E's, I'm good. Okay. I always like to, if not visually, just kind of eyeball the letters to make sure that I have the letters I need before I commit. I will sometimes take my pencil. You can see here, well, not on this one. Sometimes I'll just do a little dot next to all the letters I need. That's an easy way to make sure that you have the letters that you need to spell your title before you actually commit. Because there's nothing worse than starting your title and then getting to the end and you're like, uh-oh, I don't have a letter I need. Sometimes you can make the letter that you need out of other letters. Like if you need an N, you can turn a U upside down, or you could take an O and make a C out of it by cutting out, the part of it or whatever. But, okay, R-E-M. R-E-M, that's like the band. R-E-M. E. I'll be close. It might have to go a little bit over the edge of the white, but that's okay. You'll notice I am overlapping some of my letters. That's not because I'm worried I'm going to run out of room. I just like the letters to be really close together. That's just my personal preference. That's me being me doing me. Remember. Uh-oh, that doesn't go there. I was waiting for somebody to catch that. I wasn't. Remember. But that is why you stamp. When you're stamping, that's why I always do a test stamp, because we all know how to spell, but sometimes we just mix things up. Remember. And that's why I say the word like 80 times in a row. Remember. There's when the B comes in. So you guys were talking about weather at the beginning. We had snow earlier this week, and then I think it's supposed to be like 65 degrees here today. So craziness. Craziness, spring in Utah. We'll probably get snow a bunch more times. Remember, yes. We'll probably get snow a bunch more times, but all the snow's, well, where we live, all the snow's melted. So everything just looks dead and brown. But hopefully it won't be long. Maybe another month before things start greening up again. One of the things, Nick, my husband, was getting at Home Depot. He always, whatever house we've ever had, adds iron to the lawn in the spring. Because he likes the grass to be really, really green. And so then the neighbors are always like, how come your grass is so green? And then Nick gets very proud because he wants our grass to be the greenest in the neighborhood. Okay. Remember. All right, so I need to do something, maybe, because the I is weird up here, because just a one-letter I. I think what I'll do, maybe I'll just do right here, the whole thing. I remember where I was when. Okay. All right, so now I have a lot of writing to do, friends. So Kristen, actually, greenest, not necessarily where we are, water. Nick's very good about that. Most people way overwater their lawn. Here it has more to do with the iron. The soil that we have is super, super, super sandy. And so if you don't add iron to it, the lawn is just kind of yellowish looking. So we're very good about how much water we put on. All right, so let me look at my list and see. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things. Let me count the lines that I have. If I started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 3, 4, 5, 26. So if I did every 3 lines, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There, that will work. So I can fit all 8. In the 90s next week, Diane, where do you live? Jackie, I caught it before the comments could happen. I don't know. I missed that. Okay. Alrighty. I remember where I was when. And I think what I'm going to do is I checked the dates for all of the things that were on my list. So I'm putting them in chronological order. The first one on my list was when Ronald Reagan was shot. And that is like the first really vivid memory that I have. You can hear my pen. Oh, when it does that. That's probably the first really vivid memory I have of something big like that happening and remembering where I was. So that was when Ronald Reagan was shot. And that was 3/30/81. So that was March 30th, 1981. So if I do them all like this, 3/30/81, and then I do a dash, President Ronald was shot. Hope that's right. I was at my friend Debbie's house, and we were listening to you two. Okay, that's remember where I was. Legs of Faith, the dot markers, those are Zig Kiritaki. I probably totally butchered the spelling of that. I mean, not the spelling, but the name of that, Zig. And I have those linked in the description of the video, I believe. Oh, see, Tracy, that's a good one. See, for me, Princess Di, remembered when Princess Di died, but when Princess Di married Prince Charles. I don't remember that one. I mean, I remember it, I just don't remember where I was. All right, so that one, so what I'm going to need to do, and I'll have to think a little bit about how I want to do this, because there's going to be a lot of writing right here. I am somehow going to need to differentiate each of these little entries, if you will. So I'll figure that out later. All right, the next one was January 28th, 1986. That was the day the Challenger space shuttle exploded. I was in my high school physics class, maybe? And we were watching. One of our teachers was, and I went to a really small high school. I had Shabby Rose Creations by Chem M. 1986 is when I graduated from high school as well. But one of our teachers was one of the finalists. I don't remember if she was the alternate or one of the finalists to be on the space shuttle. She was the teacher that didn't go. So I remember that one vividly just because it was a big deal anyway, but it was a really big deal because our one of our teachers was alternate, I think. All right. So Challenger. The next one was, oh gosh, the Oklahoma. See, this is okay. This is kind of a downer, isn't it? Talking about some of these things. But I think, you know what? It's just like we talk about our bad habits to list as well as our good. I think, at least for me, these are things that I want to remember where I was. 4995 was the Oklahoma City bombing. Oklahoma City bombing. I was sitting in my cubicle working for AT&T. I don't remember. The thing is, what's so interesting about some of these things, especially these early days, even 95, really no internet, no 24-hour news cycle. So now I'm trying to remember. What I don't remember is how at work we found out about that. Because without the news, access to news that like we have today, I don't remember how I found out about that, but I remember where I was. The next one on my list is when Princess Diana died, and that was 8/31/97. Princess Diana died in a car accident. Nick and I were driving home from, what is the movie? Oh, I know, when OJ was acquitted. Or when OJ was driving down the freeway in his white Bronco or Blazer or whatever that was. When the Berlin Wall, yes, for sure. What is the movie? What was the movie with Will Smith, like the end of the world one? It started with an I. Does anybody remember that? I'm just going to say driving home from dinner in a movie. And heard on the radio. That movie. No, not Independence Day. Yes, Independence Day. Isn't that weird? The things that you remember. It was Independence Day. All right, next one. Oh, goodness. 9/11. 9/11/2001. I was in the bathroom, not the toilet, but in the bathroom, getting ready for work. I had the Today Show on in the background. That one, that is probably the one that I remember most vividly and will probably for the rest of my life remember most vividly. Just because that, yeah, golly. I remember hearing when they were talking about the first plane, and they're like, oh my goodness. And then the second plane hit, and whoever was announcing, or, you know, whoever was the reporter that was talking was like, that's unbelievable that two planes would accidentally crash. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh no, that was horrible, 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 horrible. One a little bit more positive, 11/4/2008, was when President Obama, the first I'm going to write black. I don't have enough room for African American. Obama, the first black president, was elected. This one I could tell a whole story about. And it wasn't that day. I want to say, I was trying to remember. I need to go back and look at some of my past scrapbooks because I was in Amsterdam teaching at an event and with Vicky, actually. And we were, I don't know, standing in line to get ice cream or something like that. And a guy asked us where we were from and told him, well, I told him US, Vicky said Canada, but he said, oh my goodness, I can't believe, never in my lifetime. And I talked to him for a little while. He was from South Africa and he had dreadlocks and he was a musician. And so then he was sitting there and he started playing and he made up a song about President Obama, or Barack Obama at the time, being elected as the first black president of the United States and how in his lifetime he never thought he'd see that. So I just have to figure out how to take all of that and put it into one little line. And I don't think, but I'm not sure if it was around that. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. I was in Amsterdam. That's just what I'm going to say. That's close enough. I was in Amsterdam. All right, next one. 3/3/20. When I realized COVID was going to be a big deal. This is going to get really short. I was in La Jolla and stores at home empty. That's just squished in there. Anyhow, I was on a girls' trip, and we called home, and each of us were calling home, and our families were saying, there's no toilet paper at the store. There's no meat at the store. Things are running out at the store. And that's when you started going, okay, this could be a little bit of a bigger deal than any of us think. And then everything went to heck in a handbasket from there. Not far from that was on 3/18/20. I experienced my first earthquake. Sitting in the living room at 7 a.m. drinking coffee. All right, so I still have some work to do here. I need to, and I don't know, maybe I'll do colored pencil or something, but I need to do a little bit more to call out those dates. Just so you can, it's not like one big run on, right? It's a little bit hard right now to distinguish, even though with the little bullets there, it's still a little bit hard to distinguish what's going on. And I will, for sure, I don't know yet, and I won't spend the time looking through some of my word strip stickers. Definitely won't be using Snarky, but I will probably use something from Small Talk. And probably do something white maybe down here. So something like this would just be really good. There's really good sayings in here. I just have to find the right one. I mean, obviously not, but you are capable of becoming more than you realize. So just really good things like that. That might be a nice little accent there, maybe with just one or two other stickers. So that is how I will finish that up. Okay. Yep, it does. It needs something a little bit more over here just to kind of tie things together. I kind of have a little bit of a visual triangle here starting, but not really. I have a title up here, and then a visual triangle would be more down here if this was over here, and then I would have something over here that would kind of draw your eye over here, but it's still close enough. All right, friends, I am going to turn off the light. I know, Irene, I agree. It's just, it's a very, I think it's beautiful. The paper's beautiful, but I think it works really well for this list. For me, right? Oh, Jackie, yes. Jackie lives in, Henderson, which is a suburb of Vegas. The shooting at the concert. Yeah, I know that was a big deal for, well, it was a big deal for all of us, right? But a big deal for your community. All right. When you got your first shot. Yes, very good. All right, guys, I'm going to flip the camera here in 1 sec. Hang on. Hi, Pam. Pamela, Pam. I tend to shorten people's names, so if I ever shorten your name and you don't shorten your name, then just tell me. All right. I know, only 2.5 hours. I know. Do you believe it? So next week will probably be, well, next week will for sure be shorter. Next week, well, I'll explain that next week. Okay. Unplugging here. And spinning. So close your eyes or hold on tight, arms and legs inside the ride. Dee, dee, dee. Oh, golly, that was horrible. Hang on. That's way too bright. Is that better? Okay. That's a little bit better, but that was crazy. Do another what? Do another list. Oh, guys, I can't. I can't today. I have a lot of, so here's the deal. Nick was packing the orders, but now I need to go down and do all the shipping labels for them. And there's lots, so we can get them to the post office today. Normally, we do a pickup every day, and the mailman comes and picks up lots of boxes every day, but that didn't happen last night for a number of reasons. So we need to take them to the post office today, and our post office closes at 3:30, and it is 12:30. So I need to jet today. Oh, Suzanne, that's scary. Oh, you thought they were at the concert. Oh my gosh, because they live there. All right. Okay, friends. So that wraps up for today. Really quick reminder, if 2 prizes, the ink storage from scrapbook.com, 1 prize, and the other one, the little envelope, the 4x4 envelope, little storage envelopes that I store my stamps in, the 4x4s. So like scatter or listed stamps fit really great in there. So I'll be giving away 5 of those. There's a set of those next week, and the ink storage tray. In order to enter to win, or it's all random, leave a comment on this video. So not in the chat, leave it after the fact in the video or in the comment section, and tell me one of your bad habits. And then I will randomly pick 2 winners next week, and we'll go from there. As a reminder, I will later today or tomorrow post all of the winners on a blog post. So from our big 52-week adventure. So watch for that. I've already reached out to everybody, but watch out for that. And then, oh yes, the big sale at scrapbook.com. On a lot of their storage things and tools that are their exclusive brand. So I have linked to that in the description of the video as well. All right, friends, thank you for joining today. Another fun Saturday, as always. And, probably some of you, I know some of you, I will see on Tuesday night. Those of you that purchased the Grateful Heart mini book kit, or if you did the instruction, actually I should bring that up. Those kits sold out very quickly. And if you didn't get a chance to purchase one of the kits, after they sold out, I made an option to purchase the instructions and the video access. So that is now an option on my website. Anyhow, either way, if you purchased the kit or access to the instructions in the class, I will see you on Tuesday night. We'll have fun putting that together. The rest of you, hopefully I will see you next Saturday. So next Saturday is, next Saturday will be the first day in April. So you already know what one of the lists will be. One of the lists will automatically be about last month. So the first Saturday of every new month, that is when I do the list of what happened the prior month. So Next Saturday will be the first of the month, and we'll do our About Last Month list, which will be about March. All right, friends, have a great day. Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Still wearing a mask here, so if you wear a mask, I hope you do. Wear a mask. Otherwise, I don't mean otherwise. That's bad. I meant otherwise. I'll see you next week. Wow, that just about went a really odd direction. Next weekend, I hope to see you guys. All right. Yes, thumbs up if you enjoyed. Please thumbs up. Super important. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.